Doyle, where are they
What up on
from?
my grill, man?
Where are they from, Doyle?
Japan.
What? Don't record.
You get the whistle as well.
What's up? It has been a hot minute since I've made an actual video. The last one you guys watched was some videos that I attempted to make during the 2 months that I haven't made a video. And yeah, you guys saw what went on. But anyway, as you guys can probably tell by the title of this video, I broke this thing again. So today, it's up on the stands. It's after work. I'm going to start pulling everything apart because I think I have done damage to the gearbox, either the input shaft bearing or the output shaft bearing, or one of the shafts is not very happy. It makes a clunking noise when I'm driving it, changing gears, rolling off the lights. It goes, you know, a bit of a knock. I did think it was diff backlash, but I haven't touched the diff in this. Oh, that's a lie, I have. I've been through 2 diffs in this, but I don't think this one's bad because it's only been in the car for a little bit. I thought it might have been a bush, but it's got brand new bushes through everything, so it can't be a bush. I had someone come have a look with me, and yeah, bad gearbox. So this is where we're starting off, by taking the fan out. Because you have to tilt the engine on SRs backwards, it's easier to tilt the gearbox backwards to and the engine to get the gearbox out. So you got to loosen the engine mounts. Everything rocks up like that, and the fan's going to hit my radiator. So first things first, take that out. Actually, first things first, you should probably disconnect your battery because you need to take the starter motor off. But yeah, fan, starter motor, wiring, battery. Take your gear shifter and all the stereo surround and stuff out. Take the gear stick out with the circlip, and then drive shaft, exhaust, yada yada yada, to get everything out. So I guess I'll just, now that I've sorted that, let's jump out of the car and just assess the stuff that we may or may not need to take off. So let's grab a torch. So, exhaust is in the way, that's going to need to come off. So drive shaft needs to come off, exhaust definitely needs to come off. I've already drained my fluid because I was curious to see what everything looked like. It looks pretty clean. So slave needs to come off, starter motor, sweet. So I'm going to start with taking this off, moving it out of the way, and then do my drive shaft, and yeah. Whoa, here we go, lads. So we're inside the car now. I'm gonna rip off this young stick here. I'm gonna pull it up on the back, and there is 2 Phillips head here. Then you can pull this whole thing up. Underneath all these boots and all this sound deadening and stuff, there will be a circlip. So I'm going to pop him out, pull your shifter off, chuck him down on the ground. So once you get all the top stuff off, depending on whether or not your car is 6-speed, there's like this seal here as well that's like kind of pressed in, so you gently have to kind of get under an edge and pull them up and then put them back down again, because under here is a circlip. So I was going to get a flat head and try and gently pry on this, pull them up so that way we can get to our circlip, and now pop out the shifter, because there's basically no way to get the box out easily with this in. As you're going down, it kind of hits the back of the hole there, so it's easier just to pull it out. Damn, how many of these bloody boots is there? It's another one. I had to get a little bit rough with that second one, you can see, to get them out, but luckily there's two others. But now you can see down in here, just, it's not very bright, but those two sticky out O circle bits there, the bit that you need to use your circuit pliers for. Get down in here. Like that. And there you go. One shifter. Alright boys, here we go. So we grab Mr. Stand up. And undo. This here 13. Come on baby. Come on. Come on. I do have to say, working on the ground sucks, lads, so just pay someone else to do it, like a mechanic or something, because working without a hoist is very much admin. Perfecto. Because I'm real lazy, I'm not even going to bother taking the whole drive shaft out. I've got my handbrake on. If your handbrake isn't strong enough, chuck your gearbox in gear, so just put the shifter in, put it into a gear, and then crack these 14mm nuts off. And yeah, this front section of the drive shaft should hopefully come off if everything goes to plan. Oh, there we go, he's cracked. So I've managed to get 3 off in the one position, and then you're just going to have to jump back up on top of the car, let the handbrake down, spin the shaft around so you can crack off the last one, and then just undo the rest of them away by hand. One front half of the drive shaft. Ooh. And some gearbox oil. So your boy just had a munch of burger fuel because we hungry. But yeah, now that we've got that out, we're basically done. The last thing is the slave cylinder on the side of the gearbox. Let him off, he can just hang there. And then we want to undo or get a jack under the trans and undo our trans mounts and slowly let it down. Also our engine mount, sorry. So slave cylinder, loosen off the engine mount so we can let the engine rock back towards the firewall. When he does rock back as far as we can get him to a comfortable spot that he's not touching too much shit, get a block of wood, jam it between the subframe and the sump, because you'll need him to stay there. Once you drop the gearbox off, obviously he'll want to swing back, and then it makes it a bitch to get the gearbox back on because you need to rock the engine again. So yeah, little helpful hint, get a block of wood, chuck it in there. So I'm going to jump under now, undo the slave, undo the engine mounts, and then start lowering the transmission. Sorry, she's a bit dark, lads, it'll brighten up. Ooh, there goes the slave. Down in there below the oil filter. don't know if you guys will be able to see. Sorry, I can't get the angle, but down there below the oil filter is another one. So we'll loosen them off, and we're ready to start tilting some engine. So as you can see, I've got my jack here on the trans mount, or trans subframe and cross member. I always fucking forget the technical term when I'm trying to video. Anyway, you guys get the point. I've loosened the 2 bolts off, so that's supporting its weight. So now you gently want to let him come down and rock the engine like this. Once you get into a good level, like I was saying, chuck a bit of wood in between the subframe and the sump, and yeah, start undoing your bell housing bolts and the wiring that runs along the top for your reverse sensor, reverse switch and speedo sensor, I should say. So yeah, I'll start so this is my cold side intercooler piping was a bit tight holding it up, so I think he's starting to rock again. Oh, hold on, sorry. Here he comes. Hold him there. As you can see now, we've got a bit of an angle on, so hopefully if I climb under the car, we can see most of the gearbox bell housing bolts. So we should be able to hopefully get them all undone and pull the box off. Day 2 of gearbox removal. Last night I kind of got to a point, I was getting a bit frustrated, it was getting dark, I didn't want to hurt myself, so called it quits. This morning I did a couple of things. First things first, I dropped off my wastegate tube. This probably won't apply to everyone because you guys have different setups. I also took off my dump pipe, just there to give myself a bit more room. Now, this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. So if we roll under here, on most cars, there's a bit more room between the tunnel and the gearbox. On this, however, there isn't. So I started off by taking this bolt out to give me a bit more room and swing on the bolt above, just using a spanner. All these ones I'm just going to leave to use to my gun. Hopefully this side has a little bit more clearance to get some of those as well, but those 2 there are the hardest, so we're going to start with those and then start lowering it down. Hopefully get our long extension on to get to the ones up the back. Hopefully you guys can see those. And yeah, slowly undo them, put them kind of in order so you know where they go back in, and start to wiggle this gearbox free. Oh, he might be finger loose, boys. Come on. Come on. Good old Nissan, eh? Breaking gearboxes. Oh, I'm getting cramped. I think I can get enough tilt, well hopefully I can get enough tilt to get the rest of these bolts out without having to use a spanner, so I'm going to try lower my jack now. Obviously I pulled all my wiring off, it's just here, so I'm going to try tilt or let the jack down, and hopefully I can get a gun to undo the rest of these and make this 10 times faster. Oh, there's one top box. Oh, she's a bit dirty, boys. I've got all my bell housing bolts out now, because I am trying to do this by myself, which is, I wouldn't recommend. Try and get someone to help you do this. I'm not going to video pulling it out, but I will video when we get it out on the ground, and we'll have a play around and see if we can see anything obvious before we tear it all apart. But yeah, sorry, I'm not going to video myself struggling to pull the gearbox out. So after many struggles sourcing another jack to tilt the engine more, finally got the box out, and I don't know if that's meant to move that much, eh? It's the whole way through too when you shake the input. It also shakes. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty fucked. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.